Let's welcome in Dr. Xiaotao Yang, an assistant professor with the Department of Earth, Atmospheric and Planetary Sciences at Purdue University. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Okay, so put today's quake into perspective. How significant is a 3.8 quake?
So, hello everyone. So, yeah, we got a surprise today to have an earthquake in Indiana, particularly in the northern part of Indiana. So, basically, earthquake usually have a magnitude up to 10. And you have already heard a lot of earthquakes in Japan or South American, where we have earthquakes in like magnitude 8 or 9. But for 3.8, so usually it corresponds to an earthquake with like kind of faulting at a scale of about like 10 to 15 miles length. That's where the rupture starts or generates the earthquake. So for 3.8, regarding the damage, 3.8 may not cause too much damage, but it also depends on where you are and depends on what building is close to the earthquake location.
I'm seeing a lot of questions coming into our newsroom, some surprised that they even felt anything. Is it in an area where we typically see seismic activity here in Indiana?
So in Indiana, like the most active part of Indiana is in the southwestern part of Indiana. So there are basically a lot more earthquakes there. But in northern Indiana, we do not usually get a lot of earthquakes. But we do get sometimes. In 2012, there was also an earthquake like to the north of Indy. So, but this time it's about like 30 miles west of Indy. So we, like in summary, we do get earthquakes sometime, but not very often.
You're definitely teaching me something new. I did not know that previous to today. Tell me, is Indiana at risk for the big one, a major earthquake?
Well, it's basically about like how you define big. So it's it's hard to say exactly whether we are at the risk of having a big one, but I think because like earthquakes could occur at a lot of places. So some places have more earthquakes than others, and like in Western coast or in California we have a lot more earthquakes. But in Indiana or generally in central United States, so the largest one with magnitude 8 occurred about like 210 years ago in somewhere in a little bit like north of Memphis in Tennessee. So we do have earthquakes in central United States, but not a big one in Indiana, or not so big. But Indiana did have one pretty close to Indiana in Mountain Carmel, in Illinois. It occurred in 2008 with magnitude 5.2. So that one did cause some damage to some buildings. So I think we in general may not be at a high risk of a big earthquakes, but I think the most important thing for the public is to understand that there is something you get a surprise, and it's better to be prepared for earthquake hazards and to building like better building codes, and also to prepare what you do when you see an earthquake.
Being prepared is always a good idea. Dr. Yang, thank you so much for taking some time to help educate us.
Thank you. I'm glad.